You're going to put up with us again at this episode of Street Scene Power Hour. I'm Greg Roten, and down somewhere in this block of mess is the messiest person, Rick Guerrero.
There we are.
And the person that I wanted to be earlier was Larry Ward, but today I don't want to be him because he's in Florida in the rain and it's sunny up here in Ohio. So,
well, good for him. Good for him.
So we want to welcome Steve Legersky. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's exactly right.
Yay! I got it. All right, and we definitely have other special guests here. We've got Chris. Okay, get this, Rick Guerrero.
Oh, close.
Yep, that's
Guerrero.
his name. And also our Ohio native here, Vinnie Barbone. You've known him. He's all over here. So, we welcome all of you to the Street Scene Power Hour podcast. Make sure you tune into Buzzsprout or iHeart or any of your other
Facebook.
Well, any other streaming media to download Street Scene Power Hour and look for it on YouTube soon. Steve, let's start off with you. What's Steve? He's in charge of the IX Center Piston Power, and that is coming up extremely soon. And it's a show you do not want to miss. Been up there before. It's incredible. If you haven't been up to the IX Center for this show, you've got to just cancel everything you have going on that weekend and go to this. Steve, what is it all about?
Well, the Summit Racing Equipment IX Piston Powered Autorama is an extravaganza of piston-powered vehicles. Back in the day when the Autorama was running just in Cleveland itself, it really was a vehicle show, it was a car show. And in about 2010, the IX Center launched the Piston Power Show. So we combined the Piston Power Show with Autorama. So not only do we have vehicles, cars, we also have motorcycles, we have military vehicles, we have large equipment, construction equipment, large trucks, we have monster trucks, we have, the moniker of the show is that if a piston makes it go, it's in the show, and that's really where we're at with it. It's a monster.
That's
Steve,
awesome.
Steve, that's an old tank factory, right? Back in World War II.
Well, the IX Center in its first go-around was a B-29 assembly plant. And then when World War II ended, they quit making B-29s, and then the Korean War started. So then they converted the IX Center over to a tank plant to produce tanks for the Korean War effort. So it's an amazing building to be in. Absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. You know what? What's on the floor this year? What can you expect to see?
Well, like I said, everything from our different car clubs. We have 28 car clubs that participate in the show with us, Greg. And, we take care of those guys every year. And thematically, every year we come up with a theme, and those guys compete for, we have 5 levels of prizes for our car clubs. I mean, our top prize for our car clubs is $1,000, right? So I don't think any other Autorama show in the country has that level of prize money for their car clubs. But they're really the backbone of our show, and those guys are really a big part of the show. And in addition to that, we also have 46 cars that we feature from the Cruising Times All-Stars. The Cruising Times is a car magazine here in Northeast Ohio. If anybody knows ours.
Yep.
God bless John. I mean, John was around when we first started this show. So what we really do is we really honor John's memory, and his son Andy and the magazine go out during the summertime, and they go out and handpick 46 cars, and we feature those right down the Cruising Times All-Stars. So in addition to, and those are all 20 by, and you hear a lot about car clubs and car shows and these featured 20 by 20 spots that you have. And, for us guys, in addition to that, we also have another 60 20 by 20s that really surround the entire show floor. And you'll see cars like that Shelby right there, the king of the road. That's that'll be at the show this year. We actually have the Riddler winners coming to the
there it is there. It's worth the price of admission just to see this car.
Hold on that shot. Let me stop it. Show it, Rick.
Yeah, this thing is beautiful. I saw it at the Detroit Autorama, and I'll tell you what, one of the most beautiful cars you'll ever see in your life. It is
that is
nice.
That is something you've got to go see, because Rick had sent me pictures from the Detroit Autorama. It is going to be at the IX Piston Power Show.
Yeah.
It is drool worthy. I mean, the color, everything is incredible. You've got to go and see it.
The workmanship, the detail work. Oh my, it's a beauty. It's a beauty.
I heard that they had like $2 million in that car, is what I heard.
Jeez.
Yes, I can.
Rick, you can afford. Larry, that's your forte. You can afford $2 million on a car, right?
Yeah, I got a pay with Armstrong recently. So
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah, I don't know where you got that from, but it's sure not.
it's the best. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm putting my head.
Yeah. No more words for Larry, because $2 million. Yeah, I think it's all of our price range.
You know what I think it is with these cars? They don't care about the money. It's getting that award. The Riddler Award. And once they get that Riddler Award, they're up there. They're like kings in their custom shops. It's just it's a beautiful thing. When I went to Detroit Autorama a couple of years ago, I think it was a '58 Cadillac. They converted it into a station wagon that won the Riddler Award. Okay, and then a couple of years after that, they sold it. They had over $2.2 million into this car. Okay, and then they sold it, and they only got $300,000 at one of the
That's called depreciation.
Yeah, but they won the Riddler Award. That's what they wanted to win.
Steve, tell us about, you're heavily involved with military up there. How's that work for you? Because we've got a veteran, Rick, right here sitting in front of us. So.
Old Swabby.
And Chris,
So the area that we have for our military, we call it our DMZ. It's our designated military zone. And in there, we host the Military Vehicle Preservation Association and the Ohio Motor Pool. John Cheney and his group come every year, and they bring a variety of different military vehicles for us every year. Now this year they're bringing a bunch of tank crated engines. So again, the moniker is "A Piston Makes It Go." It's in this show. So they're going to be there. They're also bringing a truck, a military truck called the African Queen. And John knows a little bit more about it. John Cheney knows a little bit more about it than I do. But it's a armored piece of personnel carrier that was actually over in Africa, and they rescued it. They brought it here to Cleveland. It's someplace in Northeast Ohio. I was going to bring it up there. That will be featured for us. Rolling Thunder, the motorcycle group, will be featured at the show, and they're our host for the posting of our flag, the singing of the national anthem, and then the retirement of the flag. In addition to that, we also have the Medina VFW, who are hosting a gun raffle this year to benefit veterans groups throughout Northeast Ohio. And Jack Horst and his group has been doing that for years. And, I believe last year, in 2019, I think that they were able to raise about $30,000 for their military. So we do pretty well with our military. And, we love to have those guys at the show. We host a lot of them. And it's an important part of what we do at the show. And, with particularly in Northeast Ohio, with the history of that building particularly, with its military background, it makes all the sense in the world. So, that's part of it. And one of the other things too, then, Greg, is our ticket discount for our military. It's our deepest discount. Our military veterans can go right to the box office. They can buy up to 6 tickets for $15, and so that's our deepest discount. And
wow,
and kids 12 and under get into the show for free. But we'll talk about the value proposition on the backside of this. But we love the military in Cleveland, and we certainly love them at the Summit Racing Equipment IX Piston Powered Autorama. Good guys.
Speaking of military vehicles, do you have any of the old the Bantams there, the original Jeep?
Yes, yeah. John Cheney's got 2 of everything. I mean, he the one year he brought in a missile launcher. I said, John, he goes, well, I keep in my yard. I go, well, what do your neighbors think? He's got a big barbecue thing. So he's part of the Ohio Motor Pool. John's a really, really good guy, and Yeah, one of my favorites. So
Steve.
I bet the neighbors don't mess with him because if you piss off the neighbors, you just point that missile launcher at him like, oh, hell, I'm out.
Oh my God! I mean, he's got everything. I mean, they bring tanks and everything. I mean, it's amazing the thing for us. Absolutely amazing.
Steve, Greg and I did a show last year in Butler, Pennsylvania, and we did the original Bantam Jeep. Okay, that's where they made it at. And that's why I was asking if there's going to be a Bantam. There was a Bantam before it was a Willis, before it was a Ford. And that's the original. And you said you're going to have one there.
Janie's got one of everything, baby.
Oh, man. Going to the IX Center, there's not one floor, correct? There's two. So,
there's actually the concourse level. So in our concourse area, which is down the escalator, the Northern Ohio Car Club Association is our host of that area down there. So there's 72 cars down there. So in addition to the main floor, which is gigantic, there's also another 45,000 square feet in our concourse area. And the interesting thing about that concourse area, when you go into it, you're really walking into a piece of history. That area was the former cafeteria for the tank plant. So you're really in a tremendously big piece of history for Cleveland and the IX Center. But
so who's displaying their cars in the basement area there?
Well, the Northern Ohio Car Club Association, their members, and then there's a bunch of other cars that we screen and that we that we invite down to the concourse area. And the cool thing about it down there is, some of the guys go, well, I'm not really sure I want my car in the basement, but it has its own little hip club feel to it.
Sure.
You can really feel the buzz down there because the guys are so, they're so ingrained and so amenable to each other. It's really cool area down there. And again, there's so many things to do up on the main floor, and like I said, if you went through all the exhibits that we have, and there's probably I think I counted them up. There's like 1,100 things that you can do. And if you spend 1 minute at each one of those, I think you'd spend 18 hours at the IX Center. Now the show's it's not open that long. I mean, we're open, 3.
You're staying all night.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're open 3 to 9 on Friday. We're open 10 to 9 on Saturday, and then 10 to 6 on Sunday.
And give those dates again. What days are that coming? So people have to go. There's no question. You've got to go up.
You got to come see this show. It's an amazing show. April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Again, Friday, we open at 3, go to 9. Saturday, we open at 10, we go to 9. And then Sunday, we open at 10, and we go to 6. And I can tell you, it's absolutely amazing how many people are in those aisles. It's humbling to see how many people actually come to the show.
Yeah.
And Street Scene's going to be there, I think, April 1st, right? Friday?
I don't know. I have credentials waiting for Greg. I'm just waiting.
Is it the first, Greg?
Well, yeah, that's when I was planning on it, but I was waiting for Steve to say, go ahead, come on up. Yeah, so, we'd love to come up and feature that show because...
Absolutely invited.
Well, okay, because you got themes for this year. Let me ask that question.
Yeah, we do. One of our main themes is always if a piston makes it go, it's in this show.
Yep.
But in 2019, we started with the theme "All Roads Lead to Cleveland." And if you look at where some of these cars come from, I mean, some of the ISCA show cars. I mean, they come from Pennsylvania, they come from New York, they come from Michigan, they come from West Virginia, Pennsylvania. So right in that Northeast quadrant, we get a lot of participation from cars, not only from Northeast Ohio, but from the surrounding states. And those are a lot of the cars that you'll see in those featured in those 20 by 20 spots. So
yeah.
Hey, Steve, if I wanted to get my car into that show, how would I do it for next year? I know it's probably too late now, but
yeah, well, it's way too late now. We're fully So we start taking applications June 6th of 2020 for the 2023 show. June.
Wow.
6th.
Really? You mean?
Yeah, we start early because we get a lot of requests. In 2020 when this thing got canceled, what we did, the plan was to re-invite everybody to the 2021 show, which obviously didn't happen either. So for the 2022 show, which is upcoming, we invited everybody from the 2020 show. Our renewal rate was 96% of all the guys from 2020.
Yeah.
96%. guys. So we actually picked probably another, I don't know, 15 cars out of the 150 applications that we got. I actually returned 120 applications of people trying to get into the show.
Wow.
Wow. So,
which is-
is there a website we can go to sign up to be on there in 2025 or something?
Well, the good thing about going to pistonpowershow.com, that's where you can also buy your tickets for $2 off. Right, tickets at the box office are $2, or I'm sorry, $2 or $20, but $2 off at pistonpowershow.com in advance. And on June 6th, you can download an application. So we'll start renewing the show for 2023. So.
Yeah, and, I'm sorry. You said you have a bunch of motorcycles up there too, correct?
Yeah, we do. Our motorcycle pavilion is hosted by Thunder Roads Ohio Magazine. They have 12 different invitees up there. We have about 90 different motorcycles up there that compete for the top prize of $1,500 for the best bike, and then our outstanding bike, our second place bike, is $1,000 cash prize. But in addition to that, we also have MotoGo and Skidmark. Now, Skidmark Garage is a garage in Cleveland. It's a really hip little place where people can go actually work on their motorcycles, and it's sort of a clubhouse for motorcycle builders. And so we feature them in the show too. So there's really a sort of a nice link for people that want to learn how to wrench their motorcycles and sort of be in a club atmosphere for motorcycles.
So we're gonna have to drag Larry up there then at some point.
Yeah.
And Chris, you know what? You're going to have to make a trip up to Ohio then, right?
That's why I'm making friends up there.
Yeah.
The crash.
You got one now.
You know what, Steve? Is that Ferris wheel still working? Greg gets tired. He gets tired real quick, and I like to give him a little break and put him on that Ferris wheel.
Oh, I'm old and fat. What do you want?
No, they're actually going to deconstruct the Ferris wheel, and they're going to donate. I don't know that they're donating it, but I think it's going down to the Canton Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Boo! That's
what
Is it going to be Is it going to be working?
No,
it's not
it's been out of
working.
commission for 2 years. So, in order to keep that thing licensed and it's not.
Jeez.
For this.
I get it, but it's sad, but I guess what do you do? That's times change.
Yeah.
You know what? There's no shows without trophies. Am I right?
Not in Cleveland, because we, quite frankly, in Cleveland pride ourselves in probably the top trophies in the whole ISCA Autorama series. So this year, the trophy looks like this.
Nice. Yeah, look at that.
Hold that up.
So that has the March Motor Mania moniker on it, because this was supposed to be the 2020 theme was March Motor Mania. Now, obviously, we're in April because we've transitioned 2 years past that. But I also wanted to show there's no other Autorama in the country that has trophies like this. I talked to Paul Pataki, our lead judge from the ISCA, and he goes, "Oh no," he goes, "Steve, you guys have the best." This is our trophy from 2018 when we were
a guitar. That's cool.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Nice.
And this is our 2019 trophy when we were doing the All-Star theme, our 50-year All-Stars.
Nice.
So every year we come up with a new trophy design. And one of the things that you talked about was the Riddler Award. We also have our Summit Gold Cup Award, which actually pays $17 more than the Riddler Award. We pay $10,017, and the reason there's actually two reasons we do it. One, I wanted to make sure it's more than Detroit's, and the second reason, the underlying reason, this show generally was happening right around St. Patrick's Day, so we wanted to tell people the pot of gold included $10,017 for St. Patrick's Day.
So you guys are part of the Autorama group, then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that work?
No, we're not part of the Cassie group. We're a licensee to the Autorama group.
Okay, so you're getting a lot of the cars that were in Detroit that are going to be here.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Is it like a big circle? Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's a sanction agreement with the International Show Car Association. Cassie is the group that owns the Detroit Autorama and a couple other Autoramas, and I'm not really exactly sure which ones. But the sanctioning agreement comes from the ISCA. So you're right, though, Rick. Those cars move from Detroit to Cleveland to Pittsburgh to wherever the shows are at, and they accumulate points. So that's why you'll see some of the same cars from show to show to show, because those guys are in for the points, for the ISCA Grand Champion.
Okay. So it's a big circuit these guys are on then.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
That can't be cheap. Towing them around and getting them in and.
No. We do an amazing job trying to get all the cars in here. I mean, we have we have 600 of these trophies that we present to our participants.
How many?
600.
Oh my God! I thought you said that, but I was like, really?
No.
So we have 800 cars in competition. I'm pretty sure that's the largest group of any Autorama show in the country.
Maybe I can get up there and win a trophy. Yeah, right. With my junk I drive around. You know what? Say the dates one more time. I want you to hang around because we've got a lot of, we've got Chris and Vinnie to come up here, and there's a lot of stories here too. So, say the dates of the show again, times, where you can get tickets.
Yeah, April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the Cleveland IX Center. The show times again, Friday, 3 to 9. Saturday, we open at 10 and we go till 9. And then Sunday, 10 to 6. You can go to pistonpowershow.com to get your $2 off tickets. Tickets at the box office are $20. One more offering that we have too is in 2020, we had all of our t-shirts made up, right?
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have the show. So this year, we're going to take these shirts and we're going to discount them in half. So normally they're $20. So $10, we have smalls all the way to triple XLs, baby. And as you can see,
that's for you, Greg. Triple XL.
Hey, jackass!
We have a license agreement with Ratfink to use their design. So I've been working with Eileen Roth to get that agreement. So yeah, those t-shirts are going to be available. $10. We're going to sell them over there in the Hot Rod Asylum, and we have a fair amount of those for the showgoers, and it's a collector's item for the show.
Well, for those senior citizens like Rick only, I'm not mentioning Larry because Rick is a senior citizen there. They don't serve you.
hey! I'm military. Tell them about the military, Steve. What this
right? For our military personnel, they can get, and it's our first responders too. They can come to the box office. They can buy up to 6 tickets for $15 a ticket, which is our deepest.
Nice.
Kids 12 and under are free at the show. So what we always tell everybody, if you have a family of 4 with 2 kids under the age of 12, you can get into the show for $50. So mom and dad pay $20 each. That's $40. To park, there's $10, $50. So you get 4 people into the show for $50. That's a pretty good deal. And when you look in comparison to Major League Baseball, the NFL and everything else. Exactly. And again, like I told you guys, you could spend up to 18 hours there if you looked at everything.
Hey, Steve, on these car circuits, they have the showgirls that follow them. Are they going to be there?
Well, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because Yingling is our official beer, and I'm going to have a couple of these after I get done.
Yeah,
hey, you're holding out on us.
So I know. So the Yingling girls will be there. So yes. We do have girls that will be there. And one more thing too, you guys, is we also have our auction with Crazy Paint. Now I don't know if you're familiar with the Pinstripers group.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. John Guerrero and his group and Kuz and those guys. So they work all weekend long to produce pieces that they actually auction off for the Cuyahoga Valley Career Center. And last year in 2019, I believe that they raised about $45,000. And all of that money goes back to the Cuyahoga Valley Career Center. The IX Center and the Piston Power Show, we don't take a dime of that. We don't charge them for their space. We don't charge them for their credentials, parking, or anything. We take care of those guys because they take care of the community. So
is our friend Guy Shively going to be there? You know, Guy?
I do not know Guy Shively.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well,
is he one of the pinstripers?
Yep. Oh yeah.
I'm sure
he's big. He's big around here in the Youngstown area. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of those guys are from that area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, if you could hang around, Steve,
Sure.
join in on the conversation. We're gonna we're not gonna forget Vinny because we're gonna end up with Vinny definitely. Chris, Larry, take it away. Tell us about Chris. Chris, tell us about yourself and what's going on here.
I'd like to welcome Chris Guerrero to the Street Scene Power Hour. I got to meet Chris as you sometimes do when you get a new motorcycle. You immediately reach out on the internet, look for various clubs because sometimes there's some oddities about the bikes, different, sometimes build flaws. And so you join like-minded people on the internet and you find out about it. And along comes Chris Guerrero. And I started chatting with him because I had a problem. And by the way, I want to throw a shout out to Motozilli up there in Champion, Ohio, Yamaha Triumph and Royal Enfield dealer. Great bunch of guys. I got many bikes from them anyways. And so I started talking with Chris and I said, I'm coming down to Bike Week. And especially I perked up when I found out he was over in Ormond Beach, which is part of the whole Bike Week scene. And we connected up and he said, well, why don't you come on down? And when you have a free day, give me a buzz and I'll plan a ride. So that's exactly what Chris did. So I'd like to welcome Chris to the show and personally thank him for an awesome day of ride. I think we probably put, felt like 150 miles. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, it was about that. It was a nice little perfect weather for the ride. We really got lucky. That was the last really sunny blue day we've had down here. But it was great riding with you, Larry. And you were the first Royal Enfield Himalayan that I've actually ridden with and seen, on the road, which is down here in Bike Week. I expect in the last 4 years I would have seen another Royal Enfield, but so it was cool to ride with someone else and who's on the same bike.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Chris. You own a couple of houses and a couple bed and breakfasts. You got a construction company. A little bit of how you down here, what it's like to be around here year round, not just during Bike Week.
Well, we've been down here for 18 years, and I always tell people we drove south from New Jersey on 95 until they stopped selling snow shovels, and that's where we were.
We get it.
Yeah. But Ormond's an interesting area because it's connected to the hip of Daytona, which has not just Bike Week and Biketoberfest, but they have a turkey rod run down here at Thanksgiving. They now have a Volkswagen Week.
Yay!
They also have a part of the jet ski racing tournament that hits the circuit. So it's Daytona's real, and of course all of the motorsports with Race Week and the track. An interesting thing about this area also is we have Volusia Speedway, which is just out on Granada. And then we also have, it slipped my mind, another racetrack south. But so like this weekend, Friday and Saturday is the part of the flat track circuit. And that's a lot of fun. It's great to get out to those races and Daytona's great with the racetrack, but it's impersonal. It's like a big stadium as opposed to going to those smaller tracks and you go up and talk to the riders and the mechanics and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
They packed it this year, Daytona. You know that it was sold out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always
and
sold
we had
out.
good weather. Usually for the last 2 years, they've had to bump the race for a week. And it's tough because people come down here, they're only on like a 1 week vacation.
Sure.
And, so you'll see if it gets bumped a week, half the stands are empty because people only had a week to stay for the race. But
that's on my bucket list to go to the Daytona 500. Never been there. So I'm not much of a NASCAR fan, but I just want to go.
Oh, it's neat. I can hear the cars from my house.
Oh.
And, when the race is going on, especially the Rolex, the 24-hour.
Oh, that's what I want to see. Yeah.
Yeah. At nighttime, it's like 2 a.m. and you're listening from your bedroom. You can hear the cars zipping around the track. So.
Oh.
Pretty cool.
That's so cool, Rolex. Yep, I love that one.
Yeah, I've been on the International Speedway at Speed, and I'll tell you that's it's different than other ones. But when you come off that bank, you're up at a high angle and coming down that straightaway at 150, 160. And you got to slow pretty quick to make that infield. But it's a lot of fun. Now, Chris, we went on a really cool ride. Why don't you tell us about the ride? And as Greg brings up the pictures, you can describe the scenes.
Okay.
I guess that means I have to do something. Oh, yeah. All right.
Wake up.
I'm trying to get my computer moving here. Jeez.
This was somewhere on the Biolab Road. So we went down US 1 at least 45 miles or so, and then branched out. That's just below Oak Hill, Florida. And there's a spur road that goes off into Canaveral Shores, National Seashore. So this road is a dirt road that branches off. It's gravel, limestone. You could do a street bike very easily on it, but I don't think people would want their Harleys getting dusty. I certainly felt a little guilty getting Larry's bike dusty, on it, but that's what that bike's for, right?
Oh, sure. But you know what's interesting is when we pulled off to the pavement, and this is part of the Merritt Island National Seashore, when we pulled in there, it was the dirt is hard packed. I mean, it was almost like the same kind of so hard packed that if you hit, it must be like hitting the pavement, but it is so bright white. It almost blinds you when you first pull in, just the reflection coming up off of it. It's just really kind of cool thing, but it was loaded with its share of potholes, and we cruised around there.
How about that one? All I see is water. It's not the rainwater, is it?
No, that's where the canals connect into the Indian River. That was right where we had stopped, and we had to pay to get in that park. It is $10 a vehicle, which I gladly pay because it allows us to have this beautiful road and have everything managed and such.
Mm-hmm.
But it's we can go south up until we got to a gate where you're actually going on to Kennedy Space Center.
Oh, wow.
You're not allowed to get through that gate unless you have a special pass or something. But you can see the I want to call it the maintenance building, and not really maintenance building. It's where they assemble the shuttle. So when Larry and I were riding south on this Biolab Road, you can actually see where the Saturn V rockets went up, and you can see where the assembly building. That's what it's the assembly building for the shuttle, which is, really cool.
Right.
And unfortunately, I felt bad about this. Larry tried to signal me because he saw a huge gator and he wanted to get photos of it. And I didn't. I should have told him, just stop if you see him. You want to take a photo.
Stop and pet it.
Yeah.
It's very common out there. You want to watch taking a leak off the road.
Might get something bit.
I actually almost got stampeded one time doing that by a bunch of wild boar that I
oh my God.
Yeah, so it's loaded out there with wildlife, but it's again, you get to see that from eagles to osprey, wild boar. 7-foot gators are common out there.
They got wild boar.
Mm-hmm.
Wild boar.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. I remember coming face to face with one of those in the Arizona desert when I was hiking. And boy, I tell you what, you froze and it's like, man, that thing is huge. You don't want to come in face to face with it.
Mm-mm.
I've had a couple of encounters, even, I know digressing a little bit, but we've had bobcats cross us when you're cruising on the road, and had a little incident with a bear So
Oh,
and this is all going on dirt roads and stuff and exploring places that seem like they're disappearing, or there's more and more gates up and things
Yeah.
like that. So trying to Google map and find roads so when somebody does come into town that I can take them on a cool ride, especially on the adventure sport bikes, like the Himalayans. And a lot of the older guys want to get back into riding. They don't want that YZ250. They want a dual sport that's kind of cruising along, go out, some tarmac, some roads. And that's what Larry and I got to do. And it's nice because you do those rides and you can enjoy them. You're not stressing over the ride,
yeah.
One of the things that I did, Chris, yesterday is a couple months ago, I booked at the Cedar Keys Bed and Breakfast, wanted to try that. And I've been to Cedar Key before, but never to stay overnight. So Bob, who I'm camping down here near, and I took off at about 9:30 yesterday. It takes about 2.5, 3 hours to get there. But I got to tell you, and we went down 40 and 27, and I kept up 65, sometimes 70 mile an hour. So all those guys that are posting up on the internet that the bike doesn't go and it can't go, I don't know, but I probably should have sent some pictures of that.
Where's
Had a,
Cedar Keys? Where's Cedar Keys at?
Straight across from Daytona, about 138 miles. Right straight across. And
It's where, if you look geographically at Florida, where the West Coast starts to turn up, they call that the Big Bend.
Okay.
And Cedar Key is located just at the very bottom edge of what is the Big Bend up there. So it's a small island, very historical, very neat, a lot of history to it, but very isolated.
Yes.
Very, but it's a neat town. Good ride out there. Did you guys catch a lot of rain on your way out?
No, actually, we timed it. It was one of those things where you make a plan and the plan turns out to be a good plan. We caught no rain all the way out. We did get a lot of rain when we left our room and walked to town, which is, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of a mile. And I was surprised they made it without, I tried to rent a golf cart, but they're all closed down by then. So we went going in there, but it rained the entire evening and all throughout the night. And I mean, rained hard.
No.
And there was water.
That's Florida. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It hard. And then it
Sunshine
shut
State.
about 15.
Is there a pun there?
This morning, we took a look at the radar, and we could see that we had a large amount of rain coming. So I refused to leave until I got the breakfast part of the bread and breakfast. And really good. I mean, home cooking. And we took off at about 9:15 and made it all the way back. And it wasn't more than 20 minutes after we left Cedar Keys. Bob was looking at his radar while we were going, and it was pouring there. So we skirted the rain. It was a good plan. And we said if we head out no later than 9:30 and we can keep our speed just at the normal posted speeds, because it varies up and down there. Sometimes it's 45, sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 60, sometimes it's 65, then back to 45. But one of the neatest things about going across that stretch of 40 is that if you happen to like horse, there is a section across 40 there that has one of the largest equestrian get-together, from ranches to hospitals to training camps. And
that would be in Ocala.
Yeah.
Ocala, big time horses down there, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that town's all about.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Beautiful town too.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. And so we had a really good time. Decided I wanted to, instead of going to Salty Dogs, I'd go down there and get the grandkids their flip-flops and stuff. And I shipped them out, and each gets an individual package. So they'll be all charged up when they get it. And it's weird because normally I would go and have seafood there. But when I went to a rally last year down in Marietta, I went to a real high-end restaurant, not a chain at all. And the first time in my life I had scallops. And by 5 o'clock in the morning, I don't know if I was allergic or what, but I started throwing up. Thank God I did, or I'd have been in the hospital because next day. So I kind of shy when I'm out of town. I think it'd be great to do that, but I kind of shy away from, I'm going to stick with the steak, the spaghetti stuff. They don't screw up,
Something with a lot of calories and carbohydrates, right?
I don't know anything but.
I don't either. So that's what I stick with,
That ride where Larry went up to Cedar Key, that we went up, I went with 3 other guys, and we went up to a town called Sopchoppy, which is across the Swanee River, probably about another hour and a half of riding past Cedar Key, but still in the Big Bend at the top of it. Beautiful park up there in Sopchoppy, but we had no idea. We were lucky to even get a campsite because it was one of those things you figure, oh, that's a destination I want to go to. Little did we know it was the Mullet Festival in Sopchoppy. And then we weren't sure if it was the fish or the haircut.
Oh, okay.
God.
Mullet Festival. Hey, Chris, I have a question for you, though. When, you being from New Jersey and that, you're up around where there's true 4 seasons. Down here, it's hot. It's hotter. Do you miss anything from back home, or what's it like to have Christmas when it's warm and sunny and 80 degrees versus 20 degrees and 2-3 feet of snow?
It's called nice. That's all I can say.
We have made sandmen on the beach and used seaweed and stuff like that, and driftwood for the arms instead of snowmen. You do miss. I think most of us miss some of the cold weather, the change of the weather for a day or two.
Yeah,
Where we take our abuse is when we are in the midst of July, August, and September, and it's 90 degrees plus every day.
It stinks
humid,
down there then.
Not even fun riding the motorcycle a lot of those times.
It's like our winter up here, we can't do much.
So, you guys get that. We get the 3 months that are like, but the one nice thing is that down here, you can enjoy a lot more of the sports and things like that, riding for a longer period of time. It's not as densely populated. I don't think I'd even really want to ride a motorcycle that as much as I do in New Jersey or a densely populated place like that. You can really get on those back roads down here and enjoy and not have, congestion everywhere. So,
you know what? I'm kind of jealous. I think I'm the only one. Steve, you been to Florida lately?
I was just there. I was in Port Canaveral. Just went on a cruise.
Okay, all of you can leave now because I'm the only one that hasn't been to Florida lately because
you don't get out of North Lima.
I don't do anything. I'm stuck here. You know that stuck in Ohio sticker on the windshield? That's me.
I've been trying to get him to go to Detroit with me, Steve, all these years. No,
I can't even get away from home. I got kids all over the place. So, but somebody that just came back not long ago from Florida is Vinnie. Vinnie, I heard you were going to Sick Week, and I was like, man, that is not fair because that is so cool. Now, I got a question for you. Do you get invited to Sick Week? Tell us about Sick Week.
What is it? Yeah.
Well, Sick Week is a drag and drive event. It's a new one that just came out this year with Tom Bailey putting it on. People don't know Tom Bailey. Tom Bailey's the one with the 6-second Camaro. Used to be the world's fastest street car. He decided to put on his own just because there were some things he wanted to change up. And I tell you what, it blew up. People talked about it for months. It really went off the handle on everything, and it really was a great show and a great outing, especially for its first year. How you usually do these drag and drive events, they'll send out things on websites about like when sign up is and stuff like that. And it's kind of like how the old Pinks All Out used to work. Because I did Pinks All Out a couple times back in the old days. You get a set time frame. It was like opening will be like 9 a.m. and usually by 9:05 if you don't have your stuff really set up, you're not going to make it in because it usually sells out that fast. I was fortunate enough because I've done a bunch of these drag and drive events, and I just happen to own a car that's really odd and a crowd pleaser that I actually had an invite from Tom Bailey to be a part of the race.
Now, I jump in here real quick. What car do you own? Because you don't see many of these at all on the road anymore, but let alone, what is it, a big block Chevy in that?
What is
Believe
that?
it or not, just because the car is so small, it looks big, but it's a small block 355 with a 671 blower.
In a Tracker.
I was going to say, it looks like a Geo Tracker.
For any of you that is listening to this podcast, Vinnie put together what is a Geo Tracker? Is it a Geo or is it a Chevy Tracker?
Well, technically, it is still a Geo, but it was right in the time period where Chevy bought Geo out.
Yep. And he dumped this huge V8 in it, and it's blown. And I can't imagine it's like hang on and shut up going down the racetrack with that.
What's it weigh about 50?
It's actually the smallest motor that's ever been in it.
Jesus. What's it weigh about 1,500 pounds?
2,500.
Oh, that much? Okay.
2,500 is still pretty light for a race car package. It's
Sure.
not a pro mod light, but it's still a light car. When we first put it together, it actually had a 454 small block in it, which is a different trade engine. And then the second year, when we got it painted blue by our friend Bob Swarm over at Universal Paints,
Sure.
we put the 454 back in it with twin turbo setup on it.
Oh my God!
Have you seen that done before? Or did you just do it all from scratch?
Actually, this car, the particular car that I own, which is called Project Sam Splanch, it used to be a car that had a small block 351 in it back in the early 90s that I saw when I was young and thought that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. And when I went to build one, I got on a bunch of the forums and stuff like that and was like, I built tons of cars before. I'm not stupid. I know how to build race cars and stuff. But is there any like sneaky things like an 8.8 out of a Mustang? Does that fit right underneath like a Geo Tracker or something?
Yeah.
The guy that actually used to own that, Chris Wilson out in Florida, fun fact, down in Miami.
Jeez, everything's Florida today.
Yeah. He actually messaged me and said, don't even bother trying to find out that information. My car has been sitting in the corner since the early 2000s when I wrecked it. If you're interested, come and buy my whole car and put it back together. So I drove down to Florida after I got out of where we were at. We were at SEMA. We got done with SEMA. I took a flight down to Florida, drove down to Miami, and met with him. Saw the car sitting in the corner, still in disarray. I wish I would have sent you a picture of the car when I got it. And over a year and a half, me and my buddy Dennis Chimita over at Chassis Fat Performance, we put the whole entire car back together, and it's been kind of history ever since.
Nice.
Hey guys, can I jump in one thing? I am losing light, and because we don't have any power now, I don't have any external light up the background, and I look like the Dark Man, or whatever. That's
the best
I'm gonna here.
You're gonna jump. You said you're gonna jump off here. Well, we're still. You're more than. Go ahead, Larry.
Or can I just stay on?
You can stay on. This is a podcast. Remember?
We can just do the audio part of you. We've done that before.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Remember, Street Scene Power Hour podcast is what you're listening to. If you want to download it on any of your streaming media sites, iHeart, Pandora, and look forward for the YouTube version where you can see this tracker. And you know what? Vinnie has been a part of a lot of stuff around here. We met Vinnie back at Back to Basics car shows when we
10, 12 years ago.
Yeah, and I have to go back a little bit, Vinnie, that the car that I always wanted in my life was that Conquest. You had oh my God, I love those. And Chrysler Conquest, you don't see them anymore. They were when they came out when I was in high school. Those were known to have all sorts of problems, but they were so cool looking. But name some of the other cars you've gone through. Didn't you have a Vega?
No, I still have the Monza. In fact, that's
the Monza.
fun fact is your show, the Piston Power Show, that car's been there a bunch of times and won tons of awards up there.
Wow.
Back when I first rebuilt that car when it was silver.
Vinny, where are you located at, Vinny?
I live in a little town called Berlin Center, but I'm kind of like close to like Youngstown, Columbiana area.
Okay, we got to get some of those vehicles in here into our show.
It's been a while since I've been there. The last time I went, I can't remember. It had to be about 2017, maybe, with that car. It's been a while. I used to go out there to help out with a bunch of different booths, and I like Rick and Greg know I know a lot of people, so a lot of people have me come out and help on their cars, or kind of a jack of all trades.
We'll connect after this.
Yeah. See, I knew it. See, Steve, you're getting people who all sorts of connections. But Vinny,
back to Tracker. Tracker was there the last year I went. That was right after I twin turboed it.
God, now how much horsepower are you pushing out of that right now?
The 355 is a really tame engine. It's more of like an old like Pro Street engine.
Yeah, I've got one too.
When Lex ran stick week, I only had that thing on 3 pounds of boost, and the thing still went 1050s. I'm going to put a 9-pound boost pulley on it for the Midwest drags, and I think we can put her in the high 9s.
Nice.
Yeah.
A light car. Now your Monza, you're still running that also?
It's been down for about 6 years now. I didn't send you a picture of it, but now it's a LS with a giant turbo on it.
Nice.
Could make about 1,500 horsepower.
Now, you've been involved in Quaker City Dragway. You're now at Salem State, or not Stadium. I'm sorry, I'm so used to saying it, but Donnell in Salem, correct?
I'm associated with the group. We own 5 different dealerships. I am now at the Columbiana dealership.
Okay. I
run a performance and speed shop and detail shop called Columbiana Car Care.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's new because Vinny, any cars, anything else that you sick week, what did that entail? Did anything stand out to you that was running down there on sick week?
Oh, there's tons of cars. Local guy, you probably know him. Cadillac Sean, he's got the 73 Cadillac with the LS twin turbo setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been that car's a crowd favorite. There's just so many cars out there. My favorite are all the really unique cars that you just wouldn't normally see. Like I remember there was a really, and I don't want to sound like I'm a bad person, but there's a horrible looking Triumph down there. It looked like it should be falling apart. But the guy crammed a 6-liter in it with a twin turbo setup, and he just looked like nothing that should be on the road at all.
Yeah,
it was really cool looking. But there was a lot of really cool cars. The main reason I do those drag and drive events and why I like them so much is the camaraderie. I mean, you go to your normal local racetrack and there's a lot of camaraderie with the racers and everything like that. But when you go to those events, it's unreal. Like you could be in third place and the guy in second place would pull over to the side of the road, give you the last valve spring he had just to make sure that you get to the track. Just to make sure that it stays competitive the entire week. It's 5 days, 5 different tracks. Well, 4 different tracks. You race at one track twice, usually your home base. Usually 1,000 to 1,200 miles between the driving part of it. And you're driving your race car with a little trailer attached to the back with all your tools and stuff.
I was going to say it kind of mirrors a Hot Rod Drag Week, correct? And have you done Hot Rod Drag Week?
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay.
And back in 2017 was our last year for that one.
Okay, yeah, because I know if you all know Roadkill, David Freiberger was down there updating us on stuff, during sick week, and Vinny was obviously down there running the track. So would you go back to sick week?
Most definitely. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna try and hit all of them in the next few years. Just because my son's getting older now, so I spend a lot of time with him. He's going to be starting to race four-wheelers this year.
Oh, wow.
But there's a couple I haven't done yet, like Rocky Mountain Race Week, like Chad Reynolds that does a bunch of the events. He does that one, and then 1320 puts on another one called Rocky Mountain 2. I'm going to try and hit that one. This year we're running Midwest Drags for the first time with the tracker. and there's a couple other ones that have been popping up. There's even some Canadian ones popping up.
Well,
Well, you going to be around our circuit this summer? We going to see you at all?
Yeah, I
hope
am.
so.
I got a lot more we're going to try to do. Last year I raced a Copo Camaro a lot, so I was out and about doing that a lot. So.
wow. I was just going to say, Steve was talking about trophies up there. I wanted to mention that our Street Scene Car and Custom Bike Show is coming up July 25th. Make sure if you come out to that, Vinny, you're more than welcome to come out and hang out with everybody. We are getting, we're getting. I just got a call from Mike at Youngstown Cycle and Speed, and he's got all the trophies cut for our show. So we're getting the handmade trophies done again. Adam's going to paint them again for us. He didn't even clue me in on what they are. So after last year's trophies, I can't imagine what these are going to look like. So
yeah, those are really cool.
Yeah.
What date was that, Greg? The 28th of August.
What?
What date was that? The Street Scene Car and Bike Show?
You ought to know. It's July 25th.
The 25th of July. Okay.
Oh, by the way,
make
we
sure.
have a Street Scene Car and Custom Bike Show that you're hosting, Rick, on July 25th. And
But you're the boss. You said the date.
and August 14th is a rain date, Rick. So
Okay. I just
write
gotta
that
write it
down.
I got to write it down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Autorama, April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Don't forget now.
no,
I won't forget that one.
All right.
No, there's no way. You got to come up to the Piston Power IX or the Piston Power Show
Mhm.
in April. Got to come up to the Cleveland IX Center for that, because that's something you don't want to miss.
Great show.
If you want to, Vinny, is there some place people could look at your tracker? Because I saw that the first time and I was sitting there. I'm like, I can't believe it, but it's so cool. Is there,
Facebook. It's Project Sam Squanch. Wait, hold on one second.
okay.
There, that's how you spell it.
Project Sam Squanch. So it's Project
Sam Squanch.
SAMSQUANCH. For you podcast listeners, Project Sam Squanch, check it out. Vinnie Barbone on his site. And he's, and where are we going to go for information for the Piston Power Show, Steve?
You go to pistonpowershow.com. Again, that's powershow.com. And the event's April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at the IX Center in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio.
No, and Chris, go ahead, Rick.
How many people you have going through there every year, Steve?
Well, in 2019, our attendance, we set an attendance record for 53,000 people. So we are,
Wow.
I just talked to the guys from Detroit, and they said that, and I don't have their final numbers, but Paul Pataki told me it's the busiest Autorama he's ever seen. And I think with all this pent up demand, and for the 2 years that we haven't had the show, I think it's going to be crazy attendance wise. I can't wait to see how many people come to the show. I can't wait.
I have a quick question for Chris. Again, you were in New Jersey, you're in Florida. Riding differences. How do you prep for different, clothing wise, as far as riding? And what do you expect from it? I know the roads up here, I don't know about New Jersey roads, but the roads in Ohio and PA suck. They're horrible. You can't ride anything on them.
They're really getting bad now.
Now, Florida.
Yeah.
Well, the bike that I chose, the Royal Enfield Himalayan, people will knock it online about it. It's not the fastest bike. I think Larry had mentioned something about that. It's really a bike that's great for back roads. You can get on I-4 95, and you can do 75 miles an hour on it. But the back roads are really like 45, 50, 55 miles an hour. Some winding country road is what the bike is made for. And if there's a few potholes, it's not too bad. But it's not, the roads aren't beat up like up north where you have salt trucks and plow trucks and stuff like that. And you can still find some nice quiet back roads down here. Jersey, a little tougher. But I reckon in Ohio, there's some nice riding. And you probably get about 1 week a year, right?
Yeah, if that. Last year was like one day, I think. We got so much rain. But you know what? We want to thank, we're going to wrap up the podcast here. Again, you can listen to Street Scene Power Hour anywhere in the world. Just go to Buzzsprout, iHeart, Pandora, and look for that. Download it. Go to, we have our Armstrong Neighborhood Channel YouTube site, which will be posted up here on Monday the 14th. So that's in March, but look for that. Look for the pictures. Hit the Piston Power IX Center in April. Say that one more time. What dates, times?
The Summit Racing Equipment IX Piston Powered Autorama, April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at the IX Center. Go to pistonpowershow.com for more information. And
Chris, we want to welcome you. We would love to hear your story down there on riding in Florida in the nice weather, since we get crappy weather here in Ohio. Vinny, it's a pleasure. Keep in touch with us.
Hey, we had sunshine today. Come on.
Yeah. For Street Scene Power Hour, we thank Chris, Vinny, Steve.
Thanks, guys.
Rick Guerrero, our host.
And Larry Ward. Don't worry, he's in the shadows.
Larry Ward's in the dark right now because he lost power. I'm Greg Roten and Rick.
And who's going to be on next week? Next podcast, Sean Peros from the Hollywood Knights.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't know that because
we got him coming up here. Okay.
All right. Well, that was Street Scene Power Hour, and we will see you
down the road.